explain your foundation, when it started, why it started, and where do you see it going?
Started.
Yeah, to be honest, and Bear might be able to chime in. If you would have told me 10 years ago, Kevin, you're going to be a national recruiting coordinator and it's going to work, I would have fallen out of my chair. I'd be like, you don't need a recruiting coordinator for boys volleyball. And that's not a knock on boys volleyball.
No.
Yep, we get it.
Gone so many great places and so many more kids. And I've been really, really lucky, guys, that like Jay Hosick, Dan Friend, Alan Knight, they've all Jeff Campbell put their arm around me like, oh yeah, you're a good guy. We'll trust you. We'll listen to you when you have a kid for us. Because when you become a recruiting coordinator, you're kind of dipping your toe in the water, and people might be like, is this a money grab? Or you like, what are you trying to do? Like, you don't want to listen to a recruiting, like we can figure it out. So I've been very, very lucky that the men's volleyball community embraced me very well. I think it helps that I'm a product of Joe Wortman Pacific. I think it helps the people I know, don't get me wrong. But there's been some really good people to meet. But I really was huge on like, I did not want to walk into a convention center, Bear, and just have everyone be like, Kevin just wants money. Like I just did not. I want to be like, look, I want to help kids. Sometimes I work with kids pro bono, all those things.
Sure.
And then I started thinking about it. I was like, really, we're at a point in our lives, my parents and I, they live 20 minutes from me. I'm like, what a cool thing it could do. And you never know where these things are going to come from, So we're like, all right, let's start this foundation, right? And we got really lucky our first year that we picked some studs that could use the service. But it's not like we necessarily, CK, give them a ton of money. But what we do is I give them a free service where I help them get into college, So we pay for a little bit of their fees for their club fees, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But it has taken a life of its own, you guys. We're in year 3. So we've had like 14 scholarship kids. We had a guy randomly from Houston just reach out to me. He's like, hey, do you want Letterman jackets for your kids and for your board members? I'm like, yeah, and like,
yes, please.
And like, so I think I like it because it's all about just giving back. It's like, okay. And like, to be honest, when we're thinking of creative ways and we're, like you giving us this platform, but right now, a lot of our boosters are like my really close Pacific friends or like my relatives, but I'm in a big Irish Catholic family. So we got a lot of aunts and uncles.
Yeah, you do.
But I do think it's going to, if you keep pouring passion and great enthusiasm into something, usually good things happen.
Sure.
And so I don't know, like I just got in touch. We're going to see, but Juniata wants to do a Kevin Pratte Foundation Division III tournament in
Wow.
Do it.
And no, for sure. And I'll get on a red eye. The routine. I'll see like who's the Pittsburgh hockey team? Like
the Penguins.
They're playing that weekend. I'll watch a little volleyball. But no, in all honesty, the goal would be to take it to another city like Nashville or something. And with the camps I've been running and the connections I've been making, and it's just fun. And I'll be honest with you guys, I could not do it without the help of the volleyball community, without enthusiastic people like me or like you guys. And it's just fun going to a city that like one of my camps I went to, there was like 12 kids that never played volleyball out of like 50 kids at the camp. And they were so athletic and so into it. But the foundation's been great. Solely, I'm glad you let me mention it. I'm passionate about it. It's just one of the things I do, but it's I water it daily. I fertilize it daily. I talk to the board about it daily. And it's been really, really cool and been perceived really well by our volleyball community. Everyone's usually like, that's pretty cool, Kevin. Good work.
How many kids have you been able to help?
Well, we've helped 14 that are like the Kevin Pratte Foundation, but what we've also lately been doing, and JVA has been helping with this is kind of a cool piece, is we are now, and don't get me wrong, and if Coach Knight was on here, I'd be like, your camps are the best, your kids should go. If you look at middle hitter, you guys, I put all the camps on there. I don't just put mine. I think they should go to Coach Knight's. You know how good Coach Knight's camps are, Bear. They're amazing.
I worked a couple.
Yeah, they're incredible. But what we like to do is we like to go into cities that are kind of in the incubator of volleyball, New Mexico, Tennessee, Brooklyn. And then we try to create really cost effective, where it's like we talk to like the community leaders, like, all right, what's that? And then we usually tend to scholarship a ton of players at the camp. So the foundation's helped with that too. We don't, with all the camp kids, we don't have them be part of like, hey, he'll help you get into college too, but they get to go and experience
volleyball
and see volleyball maybe for the first time for some of these folks, and give them an opportunity to
we're really
fall in love with it.
Title I schools. Do you guys know what Title I schools are?
Go ahead, explain it for us.
So Title I schools are, majority of their students are below poverty.
Yeah, lower income.
They can't afford these camps. So with the help of like First Point's been talking to me, ABCA, JVA has been helpful. And they're like, Kevin, we love that Title I thing you're doing. Get some Title I. And like the last couple camps, don't get me wrong, we've got some kids like, okay, that kid's going to play D1, that kid's on that court. But what I do, it's kind of fun. I take the raw, fresh
kids
volleyball, and that's my court. And I'm like, all right, boys, here we go. And I had a ball in New Mexico with like 12 kids, and they are just learning the sport. But that's important, and we need to do that. Like New Mexico and Tennessee and all these,
Can you tie in KP a volleyball match while you do that, or is it just summer camps? Like, for instance, New Mexico, go to New Mexico State Women's. You go to Tennessee, go to University of Tennessee, because I would put out my neck to say that those guys would get you tickets discounted, $1 or whatever they have to do in terms of NCAA regulations to get those kids in front of any kind of high-end volleyball, women's or men's, because we all talk about it all the time. You go to a men's game, it's totally different than the women's game, right? But just to get them to see, oh my gosh, this is what we worked on. We worked on our pass, we worked on footwork, and look at the serves. Oh, I want to try that serve. Do you think you can pull that off, or is it just summer oriented?
You were a genius. You just came up with a brilliant idea. I'm going to be texting my Kansas City person right now and saying, all right, we're going the first and second. How close? No, but in all honesty, like, I didn't even like think of that. Like, that's
serious? Really?
Really good. Now, I've thought of having, like, when we were in Colorado, I invited the CU coach to the camp. Jesse, incredible guy. And he just like sat, his son was part of the camp, humble, like would talk to people, but he's like, hey, this is about Gary Sato and Jose at NYU. And he just kind of was a dad that weekend. But everyone was like, hey, there's a CU women's coach.
Right.
So I thought it was a great look that he was there. But I invited the John with, I believe he's with New Mexico. He used to coach or UC San Diego on the men's side, Coach John. And I invited him, but he was too busy. But I tend to try to I'm going to try to invite Matt Worley from Kansas to but he probably will be too busy. But maybe we can go to a Jayhawk game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think Sully said it great, because I remember when I was a kid, and I mean, I'll never forget going to my first college game, and it was out at Pepperdine, and I was a little high school kid at Reseda High School, and I never even really watched volleyball. And when you see it live, it's just changed, especially the speed and the power. And as we've been talking, and you said you've listened to a few of these podcasts, the women's game today is speed and quick and fast and powerful. And so if you're like, if you ever have that and it's a fall, obviously there's no men's volleyball in the fall, but just getting kids out. And that's what I've been trying to do. People that I've spoken to in the neighborhood and around here about it, like, go see some high school volleyball games, just go watch volleyball. And it's so exciting. And I can't believe the level it is right now. And so I just think that's a cool idea, Sully. And
you just need a couple parents.
Some of those kids, KP, in your camps that you're doing in the Title Ones, as you mentioned, like, give them an opportunity to see volleyball where they may not ever want to go to a game. Now, again, logistics, driving, where are you? Where's the camp to the college? And maybe it's a D2 or D3 college right
doesn't matter.
The campus, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Just volleyball in general to see live.
Get parents to caravan, right? Have a little sign off saying they can do it, and you guys show up early. Because you can go 10 different ways in terms of talk to the administration, talk to the foundation at that university, talk to the assistant coach of that, you can go different ways to get you guys what you want and exposure for your foundation as well. It goes hand in hand.
For sure. If you also just put it part of the camp, be like, hey, after session 2 of day 1,
We're all going.
Get in your cars.
Road
we're
trip.
Going, you got a free passes, and we're all in KP's crew shirts, and we're cheering on
whoever.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
I was at the game, this UCLA women's game this past weekend, and there was 2 or 3 different, girls clubs that were there. So you're seeing a bunch of different girls, young girls watching. They signed autographs. And such a
signed autographs
cool
afterwards
thing to watch.
Yep.
Like, all of us here have been around this game for a long time, and you've been on the floor watching people play. But for a 12-year-old girl that wants to play volleyball in college, and she's watching UCLA play SC in front of 7,000 people in front of Poly, and then standing on the court afterwards ready to get an autograph signed, that's an exceptional day for a young girl, right? Like it's just awesome. And so to be able to see, to what was my point? I don't even know what my point was about that, but
it was a good one though.
Yeah, it was a good one, right?
Sure it was.
It was a good one, but
even at Tegan's level, right? Tegan at SIUE, she's just started playing. They came right to her signing autographs. She's looking at me. I'm like, get used to it, kiddo.
Yeah,
you got great. Kids around this area looking up to you. And so she took it. She absolutely loved it, even as a player, for those little ones and be able to talk to them and all that kinds of good stuff. So yeah, KP, you guys get these guys to any kind of local, college event, and I don't care if 30 people show up, they're going to watch volleyball. It's going to be different for them. And hopefully those guys go out and say, gosh, I play football, but I also can play volleyball too. Oh, that's awesome. You know what I mean?
So don't be surprised if November 1st, you're like, there he is with like 40 kids, and they're at somewhere in Kansas watching some. You'll be like, and that will I'm gonna like hashtag and tag set the pipe, and I'll be like,
that's right, baby.
Wear the hat,
please do,
or something.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question for one of the things you do. So you're a contributor to Volleyball Magazine and the Fab 50. So Fab 50 boys, yes or no, or is both? Just is it
Fab 50 boys?
Okay,
yeah.
And do they rank it anymore, 1 through 50, or is it just top 50?
So to be honest, there's been some pivots with Volleyball Magazine. Wade's great to me. Gordon's great to me. They allow me to write on middle hitter, and then they take my articles. And sometimes, like the Fab 50, I talked to them. I said, hey, I'd be happy to do this. So I took it over for the first time. And it was good. It was humbling. Like I was like, oh, I can probably do this. But as you guys know, and I'm not knocking, how it is, but you can write like a thing. Like I wrote an article about the Southern Virginia coach who was awesome, and they just won a national championship. And I wrote an article about Andy Reid, and everyone was like, "Yay, KP, that's great." And then I do the Fab 50. Ooh, man, I got a lot of emails that like
sure.
my son wasn't on it. What the heck? And I was like, and so this was my first year doing it. So I did have a lot of, I think, movers and shakers and people that are really bright at this, but I'm going to really start it like in February and really get it down. I'm going to do a little bit like the AVCA. They have a Zoom, and you're not going to get it all right, CK. Like you can't.
No, of course not.
No, of course not.
But do you rank them by numbers, or is it just 50?
This has been a topic, KP.
Yeah,
I was a topic
when I was in high school, they ranked you like
1
through 50.
No, what's interesting
doing that, and
fellas, is the world's our oyster. Like now I'm like, so I don't like, honestly, I'm not joking. Like, I think you'd be great to be on at CK to get your perspective or bear. And like, literally, like, I'm going to have a Zoom. I'm going to have a lot of names there. And AVCA does a really good job when they do the All-American selection. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids get missed off of that, sadly, because their coach isn't an AVCA member. So sometimes you're like, why is that kid not on? It's like, well, his coach isn't an AVC member. I'm like, oh, man. But the Fab 50, it's the world. Like I said, it's kind of my baby now. So like, I want to get it right. That's at the end of the day.
Sure.
So I think to get it right, obviously, I think getting college coaches involved as much as they want to. Obviously, the college coaches, they're like, I don't want my name on this, which I totally get. I think getting influential people like you and then some club directors, I still was proud of the list and thought it was good, but I think that there's a process that we can do better. And that's something that's on my to-do list between like December and March to really figure it out. Yeah. And I didn't last year. I did it alphabetically,
Yeah. And they've been doing that for a long time. I just think, I mean, me personally, I'd love to see it ranked. But it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, everyone, Sam Bowie was, ranked above or picked above, Michael Jordan. So not everyone's always, the rankings are always the best thing that ever happened to anyone. But I think it's kind of cool if you're 1 or if you're 9 or you're 50 or, you're still one of the best 50, arguably one of the top 50 players in the country is pretty spectacular, so, I think it's cool, but either way, it's
and for those kids,
cool thing to be on.
And for those kids that aren't on it, which by the way, I was not, which I'm sure is not a surprise to you guys, kid from Hemet, but I'll tell you this. And that's why I try to take the list very seriously. I would cut those out, and because it was a magazine back then,
Yep.
I put it on my mirror. And then after 4 years of college, I would just laugh at it and be like, that guy was a bust. Or I'm starting now in the league, and he's like, so my point is we're going to try our best. We're not going to always get it right. And for those of you athletes that aren't on it, I would encourage you to use it as positive fuel in the fire,
motivation
in the fire, and use it positively. But I think lists are good. I think All-American awards are good. I think it's good to get recognized, and I enjoy recognizing kids. It's fulfilling. Yeah.
Hey, side note for you. November 1st, Saturday, 1 p.m. UMKC is playing St. Thomas for a Summit League game. So just FYI for you, if you want to put that in your cap to reach out. It's at Kansas City at the Sweeney Center. So reach out to UMKC, see if they can help you out, man.
For sure. We could probably adjust. Camp gets out at 2 that day.
Oh, dude, early release to go to a game.
Pivots.
What?
Yeah, maybe we can do some pivots, because I like that idea. Like, that could be a nice little package of camp. Like,
yeah, man, they'll get excited. I'm telling you. Even like casual fans, I tell guys all the time, like, do you ever seen like college? Well, I've seen high school, but I wouldn't mind seeing college. I'm like, then you got to go see the men's. We just hop in, let's go, and they're like, holy crap, I had no idea. I see it on TV in the Olympics, and that's it.
Happy because there will be like 70 people, like their parents, we'll just storming in.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you get 5 kids. I know that's a small percentage that says, "Hey, mom, dad, can we go to UMKC's playing? The Kangaroos are playing. They're playing whoever. Can we go? Can we go?" Instead of going out to a movie that's going to cost an arm and a leg, they can just go for $5.
Christy Posey's still there.
I thought she retired, but let me look it for you.
She's the one who hired me back in the day to be a camp coach at Kansas.
Posey's legit. Let me tell you, she's been there for a long. She was there for a long time. No, she's still there. Posey's, and she's a good person.
That would
she's
be
good
hilarious.
people.
Hey, I called you 20 years ago to work the KU camp. It's me again.
Yeah. No, she's
KP,
been around
is the Rockers guys coming? Are they working your camp? Or the Rockers guys?
Worked some of my camps, I believe. What's interesting is, and it's fine, but we connected with Roots, and like there's a massive boys tournament that weekend. But the club director called me and said, "Will you do this?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll go out there." So there's a really good tournament that a lot of the college coaches we do have, but I think Corey's going to be at that Chicago tournament, which a lot of the boys, it's a big one. But our numbers are looking fine for camp, and someone wants to do a camp and the numbers are good, I'm always like, let's do it. So
yeah, for sure.
Hey, KP, can we go back a little ways? Like you said, you were from Hemet, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So my grandparents were from Hemet, and I've been out to Hemet quite a bit.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot going on in Hemet, no offense. So how'd you get involved in volleyball? I didn't even know volleyball existed in Hemet. Like, how did that happen?
I won the parent lottery. I went to a Catholic school when I was 4. I would not take naps. I would get kicked out of school every day. And my parents luckily didn't get mad. Like, my dad he's a smart guy. He's like, all right, I'm just going to buy him a basketball hoop for recess. And he told the nuns, he's like, just have them go outside and shoot hoops during nap time.
Burn
and they
some energy. Yeah.
And my point is when you're like, what did you do there? My parents are very creative, Bear. Like, my dad said, all right, take 3 of your friends. And I was 8 years old, and a Hemet Country Club golf pass was $70 for a year. So he's like, this is great babysitting. So he would drop me off at 6 a.m., throw a polo on me with I was having the time of my life, 3 of my best friends. We'd golf 36 holes. But what are you learning? You're learning life skills. You're literally golfing with people our age. So at first they were like, oh man, we got like these 12-year-olds golfing, but then they like realize like, oh, it's a Pratt, it's it's Bob's kid. And
Right.
so like my dad would give me an extra 20. He's like, make sure you buy them lunch after, and like, taught me good life skills. So my point is I kept busy and then I played club sports and I had to commute a lot for that. And my grandfather was part owner of Snow Summit, the ski resort. So we were
nice, yeah,
up skiing, and so I had a great life. Everyone's like Hemet, like, man, Hemet shaped me. There's, I still get my cars from Gosh dealership. They give me a heck of a deal. I mean, it's the good old boys club out there, and I'm still, but I love San Diego. I live in Little Italy, and wouldn't change it. So
I wouldn't either if I were you. But I'm gonna kind of go a little bit more specific with Bear. Like, you're in high school in mid 2000s or whatever it is. Where's volleyball being played at Hemet? Do all the the high schools have it? For all the high schools out in Hemet area, or is obviously you Kuiper, I can go all the way out there. All those schools have great girls volleyball, but men is boys as prevalent, and was it as prevalent when you were in high school?
So I got really lucky. Right when I got into high school, Mrs. Shirley was just hounding our AD and saying, gotta start it. And I walked into Hemet High, and it was like, that was the first year they started it. And I got to get on varsity, and I got to start. We weren't good. I wasn't that, but that's not the point.
High school, same exact thing happened with me. I started when I walked on the campus. They started the program.
I got really lucky, but then I think that's where like I can relate to recruits, and I can relate to New Mexico and Tennessee. Like, I get it. I get what it's like to just start. I get what it's like to ask the basketball team for jerseys. I get what it's like to go around and ask basketball players to join the squad. And so that's why I think I'm really attracted to First Point and what they're doing, because I'm like, oh, I kind of did that when I was in high school. Because you guys know, like, Hemet isn't Long Beach or Santa Barbara or San Diego. It's inland. It's almost like a different state. Nothing against Hemet, but it's out there. And
out by Paris.
So it was actually though in Carlsbad, Brenda Smith, I saw them playing beach volleyball, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. And I was usually not very nervous, but I was nervous to ask them to play. And she pulled me aside. I'll never forget this. She's like, don't ever apologize asking to play volleyball. You'll always have a spot when we're around. And like, that spoke volumes to me. And that's how I live my PE classes. Like, I will let anyone join my PE class. Like, the principal is always like, this kid's having a hard day. Can you just do PE with you? I'm like, bring them on in. Let's go. Or, adaptive PE, they're constantly joining my PE class. I'm like, hey, it's a party, guys. Let's go. Like, that's just how I kind of am wired. Like, let's let everyone involved. There's always room for everyone. And so it's done me well in life going that way.
It's awesome.
Hey, with Alan Knipe, you brought him up quite a bit, and he's got a new company right now, Champions Unlimited. And I heard through the grapevine you were working with him a little bit. Is that happening? If it is, what are you doing with all that?
So I met Marcel, who you obviously really know.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
Marcel.
And we had a lovely lunch in Coronado, and I've connected a few clubs. And one thing I just appreciate about Alan is, like, he's always been my biggest fan. And I never even played for him. But like, if you go in, but I've been able to help. But like, there's sometimes we partner up on things, and I love partnering up with Coach Knipe. Like, he's great, and I also respect when he does his own thing too. So always open to, always open to partner up with a legend. And so, but Marcel and I. We did some things to help some camps get going, and it was really fun. And Coach Knipe does it right, man. He's always taking care of me. He's a good guy.
Speaking of Coach Knipe, we can all do this. Let's say congratulations to Coach Alan Knipe being inducted into the Volleyball Hall of Fame.
Bravo, Al.
Well deserved. Proud of you. Happy for you. Congrats.
Yep, ABCA Hall of Fame, baby. Alan Knipe. Awesome. Cool.
Hey, and if I may, if it's okay, CK, I got to tell you the first time I met you, and you don't even know. So,
okay, let's see.
Bring it on.
I was in diapers.
So my one of my favorite shows you guys did, because I'm like a super fan of you guys. I love the the Chris McGee.
McGee.
Geeter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guy's a legend. Hilarious. Good at ball. I mean, the
Funny,
episode
yeah.
was great. It just like laughing the whole time. So I'm showing up. If we win the match against Northridge, we make the playoffs. And that's the year we have Pekka Seppänen, who's an All-American, Mayor Nukovic, who's like a 6'8" libero, I kid you not, and Andreas Babalidis. And then I'm like, on the bench, outside hitter, loving life. And we get there, and Jeff Campbell comes to Joe Wortman and goes, hey, Coach Price and I believe it was the 92 team. I don't remember what team you're on, but they're like, we're going to honor them. And they're between sets 2 and 3, which doesn't usually happen in men's volleyball. There's not a break. So we're sitting there. I think it's like set 1-1-1. And we all know who Chris is. Like, we've seen him on TV, and we
AVP, Lakers, everything.
Price is Right. We know, we're like, and we know that you guys are characters, and we know through Dan Fisher and because Coach Price is who mentored Coach Wortman.
And that's what I was saying. And I've known Coach Wortman since I was a kid, like playing with Price. And by the way, John's going to come on here too, by the way. But so I don't want to interrupt you, but I've known
Walt Kerr was influential too for Joe. But anyways, so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden you guys are getting announced, and you're getting announced. And like us Tigers, we don't really know what to do. We're like, do we cheat? Like, and then all of a sudden Chris just turns to us and goes, get up and stand up for me now. And like, we all just start standing up with his name. And I'm like, this guy's great. And like, that's what I remember meeting.
Did you win, or did Northridge win that match?
You guys won. You guys won.
Of course, Coley. You knew.
We just did to Santa Barbara like 2 years ago, and McLaughlin wasn't that happy, but he was also, because he's so awesome. And like, Northridge was playing Santa Barbara, and John Price was retiring, so it was between game 2 and 3, just like that, and it was 1-1, and we did this, and Geeter just, and I love him, and I could listen to him talk for decades, but it was just almost a little too long in between the sets. We're laughing, we're dying. You could see all the Santa Barbara players like, okay, let's go, and then they get smashed 2 straight, like another 2, and they lose in 4. And so you could just say, like, they were playing so well, and they're like, that's our strength. Is Geeter just goes in and starts talking, and we celebrate. Then the teams are going, oh, this is awesome, yeah. Next thing you know, you lose.
He's like, stand up, take a bow now, and we're like, yes, okay. Like,
oh, that's so funny.
Geeter's awesome.
That's the funniest human beings ever.
We're playing. I'll tell one last story because I love to talk, but we're playing up at Pacific's first season ever. Okay. And we're playing. We just play at Stanford. We beat Stanford, which was a big win for us. And we go over to Pacific, and so we're playing, and we actually win game 1 15-0, and then it's game 3, and Price gives Geeter, Matt Unger's our setter. This is the year we go to the finals. We're really good. And Geeter gets to set the whole game. And we bring a lot of different subs in, and I'm in also with him. And he's we're losing. It's like 12-4 or 12-3 or something like that. And we get into a timeout, last one, and Price looks at McGee, and he says, if you lose this match, you're never fucking playing again. Like, if you lose this game, you're never fucking playing again. It was just so funny. And he was all panicked. We ended up coming back and winning the game, which was amazing. And he was just like, we get to play again. It was just
pass
funny.
that test. Excellent.
That was a great.
But that's why people should listen to this. I kid you not, because like, you guys were in such an integral part of our country for men's volleyball. Like, that's when we started winning gold medals, and then like, that's when, like, when we talk about the legendary coaches like Marv Dumpy and all these names we've got brought up, and then you guys have these guys on. And I just think, I don't know, I think if you're going to be a true volleyball nerd and love the sport, you got to know the history, And
I agree.
So I think you guys do a marvelous job at that.
Thank you.
And
That's
I
rad.
greatly appreciate it.
That means a lot.
We're just scratching the surface, which is great. That's a huge compliment for Set the Pipe and the crew, and that's pretty awesome for you to say, KB. And that's why we're doing it, right? Keep our history alive, and
too. You're on this thing.
Oh yeah, KB's part of it now, and he'll come back.
With us, and thank you for that.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back, especially because I'm going to go ahead and call it here. When that AD goes in and hits the rubber stamp, and the Tigers are back and they're roaring, we'll have to have you
both of you on.
and and that would be another way to evangelize, to grow the game at that level, because he would have just done it, or she would have just done it. I'm not sure.
And then you can tell us the story of what it made it a reality.
Yeah, it's good. And Adam has ties. The AD, he worked at Ball State, and that was what I talked about.
Well, if he worked there, I mean, did you any of you ever play at Ball State? Get to play at Ball State when you were at Ball State? When you were at UOP?
Illinois State was the closest.
What a fun place to play, and what a great crowd that understands volleyball, right? They get it, and it's such a great place to play for those reasons alone, of just a great fan base of it.
Awesome. Well, boys, you got anything else? Otherwise, KP, Kevin Pratte, thank you so much for coming on Set the Pipe, man. You're a wonderful guest. Got a lot of history, and you got a lot of good things coming in the future. And I can say from all of us, we wish you the best of luck, and we can't wait to have you back on with some fantastic news, hopefully. So again, thanks for coming on Set the Pipe.
Thanks, KP.
You guys, I appreciate you.
Thanks, KP. Amazing.
Good luck with everything, and thank you so much.